Are you tired of mowing? We may have the solution. This is the ECOVACS GOAT A2500 robotic lawnmower. Yeah, that's right. It uses the cameras on board as well as RTK signals to be able to have a set of defined boundaries that you can set up, or it can automatically detect those things and then also be able to identify obstacles that may be thrown at it that aren't predefined that it can maneuver around, say, such as pets, balls, different yard ornaments, you name it. It will identify those things and steer around them. And all these things you'll be notified, whether it gets stuck in somewhere after a rainstorm, or whether it gets tilted, rolled over, or even if somebody tries to steal it. Now let's take a closer look at each of these features. Then obviously we're going to use it as well. Then we'll come back and talk about pricing and what we think of it. Now this is the ECOVACS Robotics A2500, or the ECOVACS GOAT A2500. And if you've seen the other video of it, this bigger brother, the A3000, we've reviewed it as well, then this one is a lot the same, but we thought we'd just do a quick unboxing to see actually what you get in here. Those are going to be about 4 inches tall, and then large knobby tires in about, not tires, they're not pneumatic, but they are rubber-lined knobby tires on here. And a plastic wheel, obviously. Now the size on those are a little over 8 inches. Yeah, right at 8 inches in diameter for the real wheels. And then what you have is a blade disc that's about 6 inches extended out. Yeah, about 6.5 inches extended out. And you see the rotating blades on here. So it's not one big, blade like you'd have on a push mower, but it's these rotating blades that act a lot like a bush hog would. And that's the idea there is, number one, you're not cutting a lot of grass off. You're just trying to cut, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch off the top of the grass and keep it maintained with these robot mowers. And if this hits anything, they just swing out of the way. So you're not going to chop a leg off or a limb off or a finger off or anything else if it gets under there. No, you don't want to put anything under there. But if the obstacle avoidance is not able to avoid it and it hits it, it's not going to do a lot of damage. Now this deck actually raises and lowers, that you can actually do that from the app. And here is the upper side, or the top side, of the A2500 GOAT from ECOVACS. Now it's powered by a 32-volt battery that's on board of this. And up here on the front of the machine, we have cameras and radar that is actually sensing what's in front of it and is actually going to respond based off of that. Not just obstacles, but also sensing the yard and realize what's going on. Is it too tall? Are there, problems in front of it? Are there big gaps like concrete, things like that it needs to steer clear of? So it's doing more than just looking for an obstacle in the way to cut around. It uses RTK technology, which is utilizing the antenna that we put out, as well as GPS signaling. And it also uses LiDAR technology as well. Now here on the top, this is a rain gauge or a rain sensor. So this is kind of an area right here that'll puddle up, and once it makes connectivity across those, it can basically tell the unit to say, hey, we've got rain, go back home, charge, wait for the rain to dry up, and then it'll come back out and mow once again. These large metal pieces here is for contact on the actual charger, and this is the base plate for the charger, and this is the plate that actually slides on there, and you can see there's the contact patches for these that slide in there and make contact here, and that's how it charges. And these little things here is actually what it will read when it's coming back to charge to make sure it lines up perfectly to be able to drive in and come in, make that contact and start charging. The rest of this stuff is just for installing it and getting it started. This is the RTK antenna. Not going to go over that really right now. We'll just go ahead and start getting it installed. I believe these are the lawn spikes in here, any tools, the power supply, everything else. So we do need a power supply to be able to plug this in. It might have 2 power supplies. I'm not sure. We'll see. We've seen both before, where you have an actual power supply for the antenna and another power supply for the charger, but we'll see. Maybe they're using just one. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started to set up. Now you can't really set up and do the mapping and set the base station all right here, because you actually have to set the base station in the app where it's actually going to reside. But I'll show you that just clips on there like that and locks into place. Hey, could you use a robot mower like this? Let us know why. You can see plenty of cable here, probably, I'm assuming 30 to 50 feet. And on the power cord, probably another 25 feet of cable there as well. So a lot of cable to be able to kind of run that away to wherever you need to from a power supply. Because you do need this away, the actual antenna needs to be away from a building where it has complete line of sight to the sky, so no trees overhead. But you can mount these. You can actually get these and mount them on the eave of your home as well, or the eave of your shop, wherever you're going to put it. But it does need, again, a clear line of sight to the sky. Lock that together. So I now have power going to the dock. You can see this is blinking. We're not, again, going to set that up yet. And let's see if we roll this in. Now it's making contact with these two. Let's see if it powers up. So you can see this blinking here. I'm assuming it's about to tell us something, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so now it's charging. Also, it's going to ask for a pin to install, and I don't think you can use 4 zeros. And the play button is going to be your plus, or you can see the plus, and the home button is going to be your minus, or your count down, if you will. So if I go 1, okay, 2, okay, 3, okay, this is going to be my pin. It'll probably make me do it twice. Yeah, there we go. So I need the same number again. There we go. And the 73 there is 73%. So this is 73% charged. We'll go ahead and get this charged up, take it out in the yard, and get it mowing. Okay, while this thing is charging, which, by the way, it's at 97%, so it's almost done, charging very quickly, by the way, we're going to go to our app. We're going to see if we can't add this. Again, if we get too far, we may have to actually move it out to the yard where it needs to go. But there's a barcode over here on the left fender. If you're actually in line with this, it's on the left rear fender. And you're just going to hit the plus sign there on the app, and just going to scan that robot. Press and hold the power on button for 2 seconds. Okay, it's already powered on. And this is saying basically do the pin, which we have already done the pin. We're going to say all set, next. Press and hold the recharge button for 3 seconds, and then release, confirm hearing, entering network setup mode. So basically the little home button here, you're going to hold this for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. It actually counts down on the screen, by the way. Okay, I've heard the sound. Click next. And now it's Bluetooth pairing. And now it's going to ask for your Wi-Fi information. Now it says name the robot. We're just going to call this the A2500 goat. And continue. And it's saying there's a later firmware, so 1.924, we're on 1.549, so update. Sometimes this may take a few minutes, but if your Wi-Fi is fast and it communicates well, it may only take a couple of minutes. Okay, I stepped away for a moment, but it looks like it finished the firmware upgrade, and now we're ready to go. Probably when I hit this, it's going to want to set everything up. So we'll hit this button here. And yeah, so now it says prepare the charging station, everything else. So now we're going to hold off till we're out in the yard. Pretty typical installation here. You're going to get some plastic screws that we're going to drive in with an impact driver and just take them down where it kind of pushes the dock down softly and gently down to the grass. And then you're ready to wire everything up, plug it in. Pretty typical, very easy process, not going to go detail on that. And then you get into the mapping process, which again, through the app, very simple. And you're going to walk this thing around and define the boundaries. Now, there are other ways to do this with AI, where it will actually use the cameras on board to intelligently kind of predefine those areas based off of boundaries. So if you have a place that has identified boundaries already, then you could use that. But we're just walking around mapping this. Probably took us 15 minutes to do this entire yard, front and back. And once we get back around and kind of close the loop, then you'll see that the app will identify it and say, okay, are you ready to go to the next stage here, which you'll see in just a moment. I'm just kind of easing this robot up, and then there we go. It says set the endpoint. Once you say that, it's going to close the loop, and you've basically built your first map. So again, very simple, very easy to do this. And they have several different ways to be able to teach you to do it off of videos, as well as included instruction manuals and even quick start guides. Now here it is off on its kind of maiden voyage here. Once we got the map set, we just told it to go ahead and start mowing. And you'll see something right away. We've got some straggler, not just pieces of grass, but you see actually some rows, some columns here where it's missing. And this is a good time to point out, and I'll touch on this probably a couple of times because I believe this is missed many times. If you're looking for a mower like this to be like a bush hog or to be like a tractor, this is not the mower for you. And that goes for just about any robot lawnmower. These things are meant to maintain. So what's happening here, it's actually identifying that high grass and saying, well, that's too high for me to enter into. I'm not going to get stuck. I'm just going to go ahead and meander on. And what this is actually what they call Bahia grass in Florida. Some people may call it Bahia grass. That's kind of how it's spelled. But most people will pronounce it Bahia. And it has these long, tall stalks. And that's what you're not seeing here, but if you look closely at it, you have these long stalks, and that's what it's identifying. Because later on, we took a mower and we just kind of mowed it down even, which is what the instructions tell you to do, again, on many robot lawnmowers, not just this ECOVACS. And so once you mow it down where it needs to be, then you'll notice it doesn't miss any, and it picks up everything. So now it's going back home to charge or going to the front yard. And again, we're seeing the same thing happening here. We haven't broken out the mower to kind of level everything out, and so it's still missing spots here. It's in the backyard, it did in the front yard as well. But just understand that if you're seeing that, you've installed your robot mower and it's missing spots or it's kind of going crazy and stopping and turn around and things like that, it's not because it's doing anything wrong. It's literally using the cameras, and you'll see it when it gets to the thick stuff right here. It turns around and it thinks it's too tall to cut, which it's probably correct. So, don't leave a bad review. Get out your mower and cut it like it's basically was asked you to do, because as I mentioned, this is meant to maintain. Here's the app kind of showing you, it knows it's missed it. It's not like it doesn't know that it just passed by it. And again, over and over, it just identifies that there are places missing here. And here's just kind of a picture of some missing spots, some high spots, spots that it's mowed. So again, just wanted to point that out. And now, so we've broken out the push mower and leveled everything out. And here it is the next day, and you see it doesn't stop. It makes those nice long passes, almost dead straight. Every once in a while you'll see it turn around, but it's usually because it identifies something in the yard, which it will do so in just one moment here. That little dark green spot there on the left is actually where a tree once was, and is where a tree is going to go again. But we did not pre-map that as a no-go zone, but it's identifying that and just kind of steering clear because it drops down pretty deep there and steering around that. Also, you'll see the RTK antenna out there in the yard because it needs a clear line of sight, and it's recognizing that as well and picking up on the other side and finishing off, whether it needs to go past it and come back or just pick it up as it goes by. Here's going through a slight ditch, no problem at all to get through this. And you'll notice one thing, it's not going all the way to the edge on many of these when it's getting close, and there's a reason why. That's because the last process of this is actually doing the boundary, where it will make 2 laps and clean up right along the edge. Now take a look here at our app here on the right, and it tells us we have a robot that is trapped. So we have a stuck mower, and sure enough, we actually got this notification, stopped by, and it was stuck here. We had never made a no-go zone here in the front yard for this tree. It kind of dipped down where the mulch was, and it got in there and got stuck. So we thought, you know what? We're going to make a quick no-go zone, very easy in the app, drive it around it, tell it it's a no-go zone, and that's it. Now it knows to stay away from that. It won't even get near it, and it's off back and cleaning up the yard. Now, this mower does have 2 discs, as we showed earlier, so basically 6 blades on 2 cutting discs. But you'll see it does quite a bit of an overlap as well. And you can control that as well, but you might as well leave the overlap in it because it's mowing, you're not having to worry about it. Let this thing go, let it do the overlap, make sure it cleans up, and any loose stragglers, things like that. And that's another thing to point out. If you are seeing stragglers even after pre-mowing, don't worry about it, because what's going to happen the second, third time it goes out, it's going to pick those up. And chances are it's really going to start leaving that yard perfect after just a few outings, and it's just going to get better and better. The grass is going to get nice and thick and green from having it maintained all the time. It's just going to really make your lawn look much better, because it's literally your neighbors are going to wonder what's going on, number one, by a robot running around, but number two, because your lawn never grows. It just always is maintained, always looks great, whether it be the springtime, the summertime, or even here in the fall in Florida when everything gets dormant, it's still going to look really good. And here we're getting close to the edge, but it's going to kind of hit everything, and then it's going to start doing its boundary pass. And so this is going around and hitting all the edges here. And you can do a couple of things. You have some options here of whether or not you want it to go over the boundary or just kind of identify the mapping that you preset and it obey those lines. So here you can see here how tight it's getting, even with that vehicle in the way. And then this is the edge mode. So you can set the edge mode for edge mowing, for cross boundary mowing, where it will actually, straddle onto that concrete, or just to identify the boundaries that you preset, it will just obey those. By the way, you see this one kind of going back and forth. That's not because it doesn't know straight. It's from probably my mapping that it's obeying the lines that I've drawn here. So if you do see it kind of slowing up, turning, again, it's based off of my sketchiness, if you will. And now again, it's wrapping up its last boundary passes, still identifying this antenna and steering around it by mowing everything around it. And it's going to go back, finish all the way around the home here, and then it's actually going to come back and put itself back in the charger, ready for charging and ready for a new day. We've actually had this a couple of months and used it on several different lawns. And here's the great thing about a lot of these robotics and a lot of the technology now. Just like this mower here, it has gotten better and better and better over the weeks that we've had it, because they continue to implement new features that are all software related. You hear a lot of that when you talk about Tesla cars, that they get faster, better performance, better longevity and battery life, just based off of software changes and engineering changes. Same way with these robot lawnmowers, the way they're using the radar, and they're using the satellites, and they're using the cameras on board. All of these things can be better and better the more the users are actually involved in that process, and we've seen that firsthand with this ECOVACS mower. Now, let me give you a caveat, and I tell everyone that ever asks about a robot lawnmower, if you're looking for a bush hog or a tractor to go out and mow down knee-high grass, this is not that unit for you. If you're looking for it in the spring and summertime to go out once a week and knock 4 inches off the top of your grass because it's grown like crazy because of all the sunshine and all the rain, this is not the mower for you. Here's the idea of these robot lawnmowers. They are meant to maintain your grass. In other words, to go out, cut quarter, half inch off the top of the grass, maybe even an inch off the top, but not to mow down the stalks. So what they say, and most all of the robot lawnmowers will say in the manual, make sure you mow your lawn first with a whatever mower you typically use, and take it down, say below 4 inches or somewhere around 3 inches, something like that, to be able to kind of set the height. And then this mower is going to maintain that, go out every day or two, every 3 days, and actually maintain that height. It's not trying to, again, knock down the mountain. So just understand that. That's not a drawback of this mower or any other mower. They're meant to maintain. They're not meant to, again, be the bush hog in that situation. The price on this is about $2,000. You can see it fluctuate depending on what type of sales they have. You can buy it from their website. I believe it's even available on Amazon. We'll have a link in our description for it somewhere. I'm not sure. So feel free to check it out. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But let us know in the comments why. Have a great day and keep smiling.